Wade
and Wade
reacts.
This is our review for The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender. It's based off a graphic novel by the same name. It's directed by David Fincher, and it is written by Andrew Kevin Walker. We're going to tell you the good, the bad, and our nitpicks, and if this movie is a masterpiece or if it's whack. So let's get into it.
The movie started off interesting. Threw you right into the killer's work as he was working for his employer to assassinate a person of interest. We instantly got a view of who the killer was as a person, or not as a person, but who he was as far as his work is concerned. He was extremely methodical, extremely intelligent when it came to setting up the scenario in which he was going to assassinate the person he was paid to kill. He watched their patterns. He watched people's patterns around the situation. He watched the patterns of the police. So he knew exactly what he could do, what he couldn't do. He knew exactly how to execute his plan, and he knew how to escape if he needed to. I liked how they threw in his philosophy. They got into his mind, his psychology. And he brought up some statistics that concerned how often people died, how often fatalities occurred. And he used that to justify his work, meaning that just killing one person is not going to do anything to the population. People die every day. They're going to die anyway. So what is my killing this particular person going to do? So I liked how they dived directly into his work and explained the character and his motivations and fleshed out, or described rather, his inner feelings, his inner dialogue and psychology.
Yeah, I like this. I like that part of the movie. And as far as the good, you know, it started off, like you said, suspenseful, slow. They put us in the mind of the character. And Michael Fassbender, I think he did a good job portraying somebody that was paranoid. I like that aspect of the movie. If you are into that type of lifestyle, which I don't think too many people want to go into that, but if you are into that type of lifestyle, the paranoia that comes with that type of lifestyle. So he was constantly looking over his shoulder, looking over his back. And they gave you, you know, they really made, the beginning at least was really suspenseful. So as far as the bad, let's get into that.
The movie didn't deliver. At the beginning, they gave you this interesting character as we laid out, but the story turned out to be as lackluster as it possibly could have been.
Yeah, I agree.
There was a scene where he was in the airport, and there was a guy who looked like he was meticulous about his business. He looked suspicious, like he had a mission to accomplish. And Michael Fassbender's character, the killer, was kind of set at unease, or kind of alarmed, that's a better way to say it, at his presence. He was so alarmed and so paranoid that he canceled his flight because this man was getting on the same plane that he was getting on. And that made us think that he has to avoid these other assassins because the company that he was working for was sending these guys after him since he failed that mission and caused the situation to become bigger than what it was supposed to.
Yeah, I agree with that. That is the bad about this. A bad part about this movie is that it's too slow. That it never picks up. I'm waiting for it to pick up, never picks up. They didn't keep the suspense. The suspense, once we finally got into what the movie was about, it was a letdown. And I feel like the trailer oversold this movie.
Yeah, it sure did.
It wasn't on the level, because man, how they had that trailer looking, I thought this was going to be an action movie. But then once we sat down and we actually got to watch it, I was cool with the tone at the beginning too. It was really suspenseful. I was like, oh, okay, this is about to be a psychological thriller. They threw that out the window.
My bad. All that the trailer shows you is the beginning of the movie. That's all what you think the movie is going to be. That's just the beginning. That's the first act. And that's the atmosphere that the trailer captures.
Yeah,
But you think the whole movie's going to be like that, but like we just said, it disappoints you and turns into something totally different.
yeah, and I was comparing this in our reaction to this movie. I was comparing this to Hitman and Go to Go 13. That's disrespectful to those IPs. Because I don't know if for the comic readers, because this is based off a graphic novel, tell us if the graphic novel was born, because I found this movie born. It was a beautiful movie.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The cinematographer did an excellent job. David Fincher, the director, he did an excellent job at directing the actors and picking the sets and all. But this movie was straight up boring.
It definitely was.
And
I almost fell asleep a couple times.
yeah, and what about the nitpicks?
He fought
Man,
some, I don't know if he was Samoan or Polynesian,
yeah, I was gonna get into that too.
in the house, in that man's house, I should say. And he had multiple chances to kill this guy. He had multiple advantages in the fight, but failed to end it. And he's supposed to be this efficient killer. The way that he's talking to himself in the beginning and prepping himself for his missions, he seems like a super efficient, super calculated killer. As soon as he finds the opening, he's gonna go for the kill and it's gonna be done with. But he didn't display that level of calculation in that fight scene. And some of the choreography was like, for real.
Yeah, I agree. That fight scene when he finally did have a fight scene, because you gotta wait like throughout it's almost at the end when he finally has a fight scene. I wish they would have, since they let us hear how he does his day-to-day thoughts, I wish during the fight they would have had his thoughts, or at least during the breaks in the fight. We could hear what he was thinking about, see what he was gonna try to do. His for him to be as meticulous as he's supposed to be, the fight scene didn't show somebody that was meticulous. He wasn't really a strategist. He had a particular plan that he had, but it was like Mike Tyson said, you got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
As soon as he got punched in the face, his plan was out the window.
You know what? It's funny because they did kind of show that in that fight scene. He was walking through the house with his gun. I forgot what he was saying to himself over and over. Have no remorse, no emotion, no apprehension, something he was saying. As he was thinking, that dude came up and attacked him.
Yeah, it was about whatever. To paraphrase, it was like stick to the plan.
Yeah,
don't break off, because he could have came into minor spoiler. He could have came into the man's bathroom and killed him.
Yeah,
but he tried to go hide in his room. But the dude came out the shower early and got the whooping on him.
Whooping him bad too.
And then this is a nitpick to me. I mean, this didn't really make or break the movie. The ending was just anticlimactic. I thought that, both of the people he killed at the end, the person that, one of the assassins that did something to him in the movie, and then the person that he thought was trying to get him killed, when he finally met up to him, it was just a conversation. And then the conversation wasn't even that riveting at that.
And there were some choices that the writer made that didn't make sense to me. I forgot the woman's name who plays this particular character, but she told him that if he kills her in that restaurant,
talking about Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to escape. I think anybody, knowing that you're going to be killed anyway, would rather have that man kill you in the restaurant, because you're going to have people trying to kill you on the way out. He might not make it out. There's a possibility that he will, because he's supposed to be so skilled, which they showed us differently in that fight scene. But there was a possibility, because there were armed guards there, that he would not have made it out alive. So I think a smart person would have said, since you're gonna kill me anyway, you're gonna kill me in here, where it's a possibility that you can be killed as well. But instead, to save the main character, she walked outside with him in a space where nobody else could see him and allowed him to kill her out there.
Yeah, and that's probably my last nitpick. The other killers weren't as paranoid as he was. They was trying to live normal lives. I'm like, if I'm actively living a lifestyle where I'm killing people all the time, I'm going to be super paranoid.
Exactly. I'm going to be on top of my game at all times, as sharp as I possibly can be. I'm not going to be in a public restaurant, dining in, enjoying my life like I'm a normal person that hasn't killed anybody.
So let's not beat this movie up too much. Let's get into our rating. So from whack to masterpiece, where do you rank this movie?
As the movie was going on, I said, oh, it's pretty good. As it went on, I'm like, oh, it's decent. But then when we finally got a chance to see what the movie was about, I said, man, this is whack. So that's my rating. The movie is whack. If you don't have anything to do, I would watch something else. And if that something else that you want to watch is not available, then you watch this movie.
Yeah, if you're into slow burn movies, and this movie it was worse than a slow burn. It was kind of drag. I would say go watch the movie. If you're a fan of Michael Fassbender, watch this movie. If you're a fan of David Fincher's work, because he did do a lot of good things.
Yeah, he did.
So if you like that, watch this movie. And from whack to masterpiece, I would say that this movie is decent. Because I didn't really enjoy the movie, but I could see what they were trying to do.
Exactly. And I want to give praise to Michael Fassbender. He played that character well. He did a great job, great cinematography. And with the script that they had, the director did a good job.
Yeah.
So I think that some people might enjoy this movie, but it just wasn't my taste. It wasn't for me.
Yeah. So with that being said, that's been our review for The Killer. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video, and we're out of here.
Peace.